I'm just thinking about confidence and knowledge and the capacity to know to feel what we know to be true, and also how that relates to something like education, and also how it relates to beauty. I'm not sure if I can get to beauty, but I'll give it a go, because that was being discussed in one of my recent video comment sections. But yeah, the confidence is a great word. I love confidence as a word. It comes from, I guess it comes from the Latin confide, which means with faith. And I think that association between confidence and faith is important, because confidence is nothing to do with the reality or the state of the truth conditions of what one knows, are they? You know, people can be confident about completely ludicrous things. I'm sure many of us know folk who have got very strange ideas, religious ideas, superstitious ideas, ideas to do with quasi-scientific thoughts, and extraordinarily confident about that, even though there's no foundation for that at all. So it's to do with faith, really, and faith, or certainty, or belief, are ultimately propositional attitude, which means that they're the felt sense that one has about a statement or a condition of the world. They're not really to do with the world itself. They're to do with one's attitude towards it. Yeah, like I can have faith that God exists, even though, and that I can have that faith regardless of whether God exists or not. So it's a statement about my attitude towards it, my propositional attitude, the feeling I have, disposition I have. So it's to do with faith, confidence. But it's also, as I say, nothing to do with knowledge directly. In fact, in many ways it's kind of inverse proportional. I was kind of hinting at this in a recent video. It's kind of inversely proportional a lot of the time to the amount of knowledge one has. And I don't mean simply the accumulation of facts. It's quite easy to accumulate facts to support one's predispositions. It's to do with, true knowledge gathering, which is not just about gathering facts which support your biases, but also to explore the inconsistencies, and also to explore one's own one's own attitudes towards those ideas. So you're always putting your own biases in the mix and making sure that you're not just suspending your belief in your own ideas if you want to really engage with knowledge. So in that sense, I think confidence and the state of one's knowledge are often inversely proportional. So while gaining more knowledge might make you accept an idea more, might make you more willing to claim that an idea is true, and you might even say, I feel more confident about this idea now. That doesn't necessarily reflect, and shouldn't necessarily reflect, on your actual state of being, which is very deceptive. In fact, I would say that the reverse is true. And one of the reasons why I think the reverse is true, one of the reasons why I think there's an inverse relationship a lot of the time between confidence and knowledge, is because when you know a lot of stuff, it's hard to keep it all in mind, it's hard to keep it organised. Even if it was perfectly coherent, even if there wasn't any inconsistencies in structures of knowledge, and there pretty much always is, even if there wasn't exceptions and unknowns, which again there pretty much always is, even if it wasn't possible at some point everything you know will turn out to be wrong, which of course it is, even if that wasn't the case, just the mere fact that gaining knowledge requires you to hold a lot of things in mind simultaneously, that's just difficult. It's hard to hold a lot of ideas simultaneously, it's hard to hold a lot of facts, and it's really hard to hold together the arrangement of those facts and ideas and theories and constantly feel how they relate. And the more you find out, the more difficult it is. It's a bit like juggling, for me at least. The more balls you've got in your hands, the harder it is to juggle. Damned impressive if you can do it. And if you can see somebody who's got a lot of facts at their disposal, has a lot of knowledge, and really, really understands that and can hold that knowledge in mind and can juggle that knowledge really expertly, it's brilliant to watch, just like it's fantastic watching someone juggle 6 or 7 balls. But that's difficult, you know. And for most of us, I'll never get to 6 or 7 balls, and I'll never get to juggling immense numbers of facts in one go. When I try and do it, things are always falling off the sides, and I'm aware of that. So I don't have a great deal of confidence in my capacity to juggle large numbers of ideas, an immensity of stuff, a great deal of knowledge. But that's fine, I've got used to that. I've got confidence in my lack now, conversely. Confidence in lack is a phrase that's used by a great poet called Alan Fisher, who's one of my supervisors on my PhD. Really nice bloke, lovely chap. And he wrote a series of pieces called Confidence in Lack. This kind of odd, perverse confidence that you can get, not in your ability to know something, not in your ability to hold all these ideas in your hand, and to hold certainty in your hand. Not that kind of confidence, but a kind of other confidence, which is confidence in the fact that you will never know it all and you'll always be dropping balls all through your life. But of course, one way of gaining confidence, one way of feeling secure in confidence, whether you're juggling balls or whether you're juggling facts, is just limit yourself, you know. That's the easiest way of doing it. Don't try too many balls, just pick up 1 or 2 balls, 3 balls at the most. Keep throwing the balls backwards and forwards in your hand. You know, keep citing the same book over and over again. Don't test yourself. Don't make it difficult for yourself by picking up more balls than you can handle. If you do that often enough, then you get very confident in it, and you'll get very adept at it. You know, you'll be able to do splits with the balls, and you'll be able to do all those tricks where you're throwing up your back. You'll be able to do that, and it'll be very impressive for those who don't know that there's lots of other balls out there. Yeah, so there's something very, and that gives you confidence. It makes you think, oh, I'm really adept at this. I've really got it. And for the easily impressed, you know, a 3-ball juggler is great. I'm lost. Oh, well, I'll figure it out. But there's a kind of relationship to beauty for me, because that feeling of confidence, and I guess I'm talking to Gary here, who has this problem with the word feeling, but the feeling of knowing something, that feeling of certainty, the feeling that one is right, the feeling of confidence that one's ideas are true and exhaustive of the world, that feeling is an aesthetic feeling, isn't it? It is a little bit, to me at least, like the feeling that you get when you've got the 3 balls patting off pat, you know, you can just do it. Like that, confident. And there's something quite beautiful about that. You know, it is about balance and poise and symmetry and all the pieces fitting together into shapes and cascades and splits that, you know, perfectly, you know, nothing's broken about this. It's a simple beauty. But it's simple, but it's you know, it's beauty at the cost of complexity. It's beauty at the cost of more complex knowledge. It's a good party trick at the expense of real expertise. You know, if you want to be a really expert, you've got to pick up more balls, you've got to pick up more books, you've got to pick up more facts, you've got to know more, you've got to have confidence in your lack and learn a different kind of aesthetic approach to all that. You know, you need to get to grips with the feeling of not knowing and learn to find that strangely attractive and perversely beautiful. Or something like that. You know, 3-ball jugglers are fine if they're entertaining children's parties, but that's it. That's all you can do. Children's parties.